Johnson, and obviously Bill and I have been together, I don't know, we've been together some 28 years.
Quite a while.
28, 29 years. We met as pretty young men. We're still very young men.
Extremely.
In my opinion. Me being quite a bit younger than my elder. Bill, you've had a lot of experiences in God, and I've walked, been with you through a lot of those experiences. What would really mark? Do you have a hallmark experience in your life that actually thrust you into this revival? I know that you had that experience in your bedroom that time. Is that when you came home from Toronto? Were you in Toronto yet?
No, Dick Joyce was with us.
That's what it was, yeah.
For several nights, and we had just a real blow-up renewal time, Toronto-like meetings, and it was just great. But I woke up being electrocuted, in the middle of the night, just a visitation. It was just beyond words, and the Lord was after something, because I'd been praying for months. I want more at any cost, and He showed up with such power that I thought I may actually be in bed the rest of my life. I thought it blew all the circuits. I really did, and I was weeping.
Electrocuted.
Oh, I had no control of my limbs from my neck down. I had no control. I couldn't do what I wanted at all from my neck down. I could turn my head, but I had no control other than that. It was just this power. I don't know how to describe it. It just pressed in on me where I had no control of my limbs. Because of a number of circumstances, I woke up instantly, 3 o'clock. I knew it was him because of a prophecy I'd given the night before. And I knew exactly it was him. In fact, I said out loud, because I gave this word to someone else, that the Lord may visit him, and it could be at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And as soon as this hit me, I looked at the clock. It's 3 a.m. I have no control. I said out loud to God, I said, "You set me up," because he brought instantly to mind my prophecy.
Yeah.
And so I knew that I'd been set up by God, and it just increased. And I tried to get control. I tried to not fight in the sense of resisting the anointing, but trying to see what is going on.
Can I walk?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I actually go through life like this?
It wouldn't let up. In fact, it's weird, but if I clenched my fists and tried to get control of my arms, my legs got worse. It was like there was X amount of power that had to go somewhere.
Was there any...
Just about to fall asleep, and you start to count sheep. Imagine, you are just about to fall asleep, and you start to count sheep in your head, when all of a sudden you feel a pressure on your chest, and you sense a presence in the room. You cannot move a muscle, but you can see your surroundings, and are awake and alert. This is sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is a momentary alertness but loss of voluntary muscle movement that occurs when you are just about to fall asleep or when you are just waking up from sleep. It can last anywhere from 20 seconds to a few minutes, and it affects about 8% of the general population. Some of the common sensations and emotions associated with sleep paralysis are an awareness of your surroundings but inability to move, a sense of physical weight and pressure on the chest, difficulty breathing or a choking feeling, hallucinations or a sensed presence, and an overwhelming sense of fear or dread. Some people even describe hearing footsteps getting closer, seeing intruders, demons, or spirits, and feeling as if they are about to die. Although there is no physical danger to the person experiencing sleep paralysis, they cannot pull themselves out of it and must wait for it to pass. Sleep paralysis is different from nightmares or night terrors in that the brain is awake but the body is in its sleep state and thus cannot move. What is most interesting about sleep paralysis is that it dates back to the 10th century and is prevalent in all ethnicities. In fact, people from many cultures have used sleep paralysis as a way to explain supernatural events and beings, such as witchcraft, ghosts, and alien abduction. Now, let's go into detail of what sleep paralysis really is. There are 2 types of sleep paralysis, hypnagogic and hypnopompic. These 2 terms refer to the difference in time at which sleep paralysis occurs. Hypnagogic, also known as predormital, is when sleep paralysis occurs at sleep onset or just before falling asleep. On the other hand, hypnopompic, also known as postdormital, refers to sleep paralysis that occurs just after waking up, at the transition from sleep to awakening. In In order to understand how sleep paralysis occurs, we have to understand what REM sleep is. During sleep, your brain cycles through 5 different phases: Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, Stage 4, and Stage 5, which is called Rapid Eye Movement Stage, or REM for short. A REM sleep cycle consists of 25% of your sleep, which may occur several times throughout the night since your sleep cycle is repeated. REM is important because this is when dreaming occurs and when your body becomes energized. During REM, signals are sent to your spinal cord and motor neurons to shut off movement, creating a temporary inability to move the muscles of your arms and legs. This serves as a protective measure to prevent you from injuring yourself or others while you dream. Now that we have an understanding of what REM sleep is, let's talk about its importance to sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is thought to occur due to an error in the flip-flop switch controlling REM sleep. REM sleep is thought to work as a switch between 2 stages, REM on when REM occurs and REM off when it does not. This mechanism allows for smooth transitions into and out of REM sleep. This REM switch works in opposition to the wake-sleep switch. Normally, REM on occurs at the same time you are asleep. However, when sleep paralysis occurs, the neurons controlling the wake side of the wake-sleep switch and the neurons controlling the REM off side of the REM switch are weakened. This allows the REM on neurons to prevent muscle movement while the body is somewhat awake, which should not be happening. This can cause sleep paralysis. Experiencing negative emotions is another common occurrence during REM sleep. This is because the area of the brain known as the amygdala, which is important in fear processing, is active throughout REM sleep. Since it is active during REM and is closely associated with fear, it is thought to facilitate the generation of anxiety and fear during sleep paralysis. So, how do you avoid sleep paralysis? There are a number of factors that contribute to your likelihood of experiencing it. A twin study conducted on 862 participants showed that genetics are at least partially to blame for sleep paralysis, with researchers finding that genes accounted for 53% of the occurrence of sleep paralysis. If you have a sleep disorder, you're also most likely to experience sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is a common symptom of a sleeping disorder called narcolepsy, which is characterized by excessive and uncontrollable daytime sleepiness. Sleep paralysis is also most likely to occur if you sleep on your back and if you regularly don't get enough sleep. In general, poor mental health is associated with sleep paralysis. Higher scores on self-reported measures of depressed mood and anxiety have been associated with sleep paralysis. Research focusing on sleep paralysis in patients with PTSD showed higher prevalence as well, and another study has linked bipolar disorder to sleep paralysis. As we have seen, there are a number of factors associated with sleep paralysis, like genetics, poor sleep, sleeping disorders, and poor mental wellness. Aside from avoiding or treating these specific risk factors, are there other treatments that could work for avoiding sleep paralysis? Well, there is no universal treatment that works for treating sleep paralysis. There are preventative and management strategies. However, these strategies lack empirical consensus among researchers. Some researchers have suggested that treating underlying sleep-related disorders or mental illness disorders may help with preventing occurrence of sleep paralysis, and some pharmaceutical drugs, such as antidepressants, may help in managing sleep paralysis due to their REM-suppressing properties. Additional preventative strategies for sleep paralysis include having optimal sleep hygiene, avoiding alcohol and caffeine before bed, and incorporating pre-sleep relaxation practices into your nightly routine. Although experiencing sleep paralysis can be extremely frightful, there are no immediate dangers or health risks associated with it. We hope that you were able to learn something from this video, and we ask that you please subscribe to our Demystifying Medicine YouTube channel for more videos.